This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed actress, filmmaker, artist, she does it all, the one and only SARA QUIRICONI. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at SARA's incredible talent.
Not all come with an ending. In those instances, you need to create one. You go around and around and around. It's the existential carousel. And around and around and around and around becomes a blur. Until one day you recognize you need to get off, if only to save your own life. Sola persona, let freedom ring.
Well, hello, SARA. How are you?
Fabulous, fabulous here on this day in Miami. Can't complain, and I'm excited to collaborate with other like-minded souls.
Amen, SARA. Well, like I told you offline, I can't wait to selfishly collaborate with you, and the audience will know why. Well, they just found out a little bit why, because they just saw some of your amazing talent. But SARA, my first question is this. Where were you born, and when did you realize not only that you wanted to go into the arts, but that you were most likely going to be doing multiple disciplines within the landscape of the arts?
I was not aware of it at the age, but when I look back and connect the dots, as Steve Jobs says, it makes all the sense in the world. I was the little kid who was constantly playing dress up. I was creating sets in the backyard out of stones and rocks, making mud pies. I was taking chalk and making towns out of the driveway, and I'd be like, Dad, don't back the car up. You're crushing the post office. Like, I was very structured and ordered, but then I also had this side of me that would take the Halloween candy back after playing dress up, of course, every single day. It's like my poor mother who had to put the Cinderella slipper on over and over and over again. Woman has patience. And I would take the candy back from Halloween and create a little store and sell it. So there was always this two sides of me that was the creative and the artsy type who would just create these worlds and characters. And then there was also the business side who wanted to be a little tiny entrepreneur selling what we could and learning the business aspect. So I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was always there since I was a little child, just making up these worlds and also making a business out of it, which
I literally just got chills because not only because it's cold out today in New York, but I literally did the same thing with my Halloween candy. And I love the fact that from an early age too, you were directing your parents. You were directing them. And SARA, I also love that you are a creator. You're a creator and you're a storyteller. So talk to me a little bit about one of the projects that I know you have going on right now, a project that you are able to use all of your skill sets with. Sola Persona. Talk to me a little bit about the impetus behind that project for you and all of the hats that you're wearing for it.
You know, as an artist, we pour our heart and our personal life into the creations that we bring to life. And
That's
this
right.
one purely was just the output and sweat of it. After coming out of a relationship, I went back to the same location where we were married, and I had to relive it. I'm not the person who avoids things. I just walk right through the fire, and that's what I did. It's like face it head on so I can move forward. And I filmed along the way that I was going there to, it was in Riviera Maya, and I filmed along the way, not knowing what I was going to create later. Upon taking a bunch of notes and writing a bunch of things that I did while I was there, I came back and I'm looking through everything and I'm starting to connect a sequence, which then becomes a little bit of, what does this make sense for me as a human that I can personally work through? But then as a storyteller, how do I take this message and like Play-Doh it up and then put it back out that somebody else can benefit from? And I truly believe as humans, for the experiences we go through, if you're doing them to their life's fullest, we'll say, you are able to inspire others to maybe have a little light, suffer a little less, but then also take on the same lessons that you have. And that's exactly, I wrote a book as well called Living Cancer Free. So I'm an 18-year cancer survivor. And that's exactly, I took all the old journals that I had and I made a book, little pieces of what I've been through. And the other project that I'm working on is to rewrite some of that, because there's a lot that's happened since the end of the book until now, but also to someday create a trilogy out of it that I can direct. I don't want to star in my own show. I want to direct that one 100%.
Well, Sarah, I mean, look at you're obviously the example of an artist who has not only done the work on their craft, but has done the work on themselves as a human. And we know as artists that we're our own temples, we're our own vessels. I'm getting a little choked up because of these two things that are going on. One is, I mean, I think we all can relate to either a loved one or a person that's very close to us that has either gone through cancer or is a cancer survivor. My mom is a breast cancer survivor. If you don't mind me asking, what cancer did you have?
I'm Hodgkin's lymphoma, and you can ask any question. I am literally an open book. So
I know you are, Sarah. In the fact that you're using your art to make it maybe something that people, like you said, can go through maybe the darkness with a little bit more light. And on top of that too, I'm just thinking of this time now where we've all been forced as one human race to move through the trauma, to be faced with our past. Many of people forced to live because of economic reasons with loved ones that they might not want to be with. So I feel like a lot of your stories through this trauma are going to be more resonant with people now more than ever.
that is the output. Now I'm getting chills back. So if you took an orange and squeezed it, that's the concentrate that created Sola Persona, was being in a space that was not healthy. And then how do I make my way out of it? And that was the end, well, now whatever we qualify as being within what we've all been through with the pandemic, and that concentrate of being in that proximity that might not be healthy, but there's lessons there to learn. So now extracting that concentrate out, that has been the juice for Sola Persona, and just allowing it to continue to unfold to what the final creation will be. As artists, I think the better art doesn't always have a specific ending, being open to refine it, but have a guide, have an idea of where it's going.
And letting go of the how. And it's that fearlessness that, I can relate to, that I finally have released. And I know you have as well. I can just feel it through the Zoom screen, that there's this fearless, unapologetic nature to you because of the work it took within the, dare I say, extraction. The part that a lot of people don't get to eavesdrop in on. But I'm just thinking about your book. I'm thinking about your film. I'm thinking about the other projects that you probably have in your mind, of this whole notion of you allowing people to eavesdrop in on when shit hits the fan for people, so that they don't feel so alone. That's the exciting stuff, but also where a lot of the pain comes from. But as we know, people that I know, I can already tell from you, that's where the growth comes from.
Yes. Absolutely. When you break that part down, I was just writing a very similar quote this morning. You can either be reactive to life or you can be a creator of it. And I think each one of those little bumps, I don't like to call them struggle. I call them challenges. And it's do you face the challenge head on? Do you overcome it? Or do you crawl away and say, this happened to me, this is so bad. And I can't recall the last time that I took an approach that way, because it's all a force of empowerment when you own it. I chose this, I love this, what am I gonna do about it?
Well, listen, Sarah, you are an unbelievable human artist, but a perfect example of someone who is not afraid to move through the pain, through the trauma, through the darkness. And thank God we have someone like you holding the baton of a light that we can all kind of just follow your journey with, and maybe grab a little bit of a piece of ourselves on the way. And listen, I could obviously talk with you, and I'm sorry at this point at you for a while, because I'm just so inspired by you, but I want to let the audience know for more on the incredible Sarah. You can read more about her right below this video. Sarah, God bless you, really.
Thank you. Thank you. Honored to be able to share, that's why we're here in this earth, and we're given the circumstances to be able to learn from them, most of
Yeah.
us, and to be able to share.
Well, I'm also so excited that you're going to be able to not only share it with more fans that you're going to gain from joining this app, but also the collaborations all over the world. Because what you're talking about, Sarah, is a lot of circumstance, as we know, that is universal and transcendent of language, race, creed, socioeconomic, political belief status, whatnot. And I don't know, I'm selfishly just so excited that we're connected now. And I can't wait to talk
Likewise.
offline about something that maybe we can work on together.
I love, and that's the beauty of it, is what, when we share, we open up, but we also draw back in tenfold. And, just to add to that, the book about living cancer free and Sola Persona itself, it's not specifically for people who have cancer, who have had cancer. There are so many different forms of cancer, and that's what the book really aims to do. And a lot of the work is to expose what are the cancers. And it's as simple as, I just called myself stupid in my head, to something as big as a diagnosis, an abusive relationship, or eating junk food every single night when we know it's better to intermittent fast and go to sleep. It's not about perfection, but it's about learning along the journey and making the most of it.
You're incredible, Sarah. You're incredible. And again, I'm so grateful for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for the space, the great questions, and for the audience. I can't wait to connect and collaborate with so many more as well.